Hello, I am the Pirate King, and you are probably expecting another episode of my show Sailing the LGBT Sea this week. I do have one in the planning stages, but we've had quite a bit happening here at Murph Manor, so we're having this Murph News update. But before we get into any of the headlines, here is a message from our sponsor, All Murphiverse videos are brought to you by Home for the LD Lee, your one-stop shop for laserdiscs and HD DVDs. All kinds of stuff that you can't get anywhere else. Lots of bargains too. Lots of really cool stuff, so go check them out at Home for the LD Lee. Hello, is Swimmer here. Swimmer Murphy, for if you want to be more formal. And here is the first of the major news updates. We have a few new members of the Murphy family living with us. Well, this is really the only story to cover, but I'm going to introduce them one by one. And so here is Hans Murphy. Hey everyone, this is Hans Murphy. I've been living in California, in Modesto, California for the last few years, probably about 20-30 years now. I went there initially to try out for the World Wrestling Federation, or World Wrestling Entertainment as it is known now. But they said I didn't have enough of an athletic background, and so they said I should go try some other sports. So I went and played football, American football. But I didn't know the rules. I didn't know how the game went. They just said, make sure you never let go of the ball. So that's exactly what I did. I got the ball, and I used all of my gorilla strength to not let go of it. This didn't go well for me, though, because they smashed my hands to pieces, breaking every bone in them in the process, just to get the ball back. So they gave me some bad advice there. Unfortunately, it meant I had to lose both hands. But you may have seen the Works mention this a while ago. He's been building me new hands. So let's see if I can. Yeah, it's nice having a hand again. He's still working on the other one. But it's been nice. I've been actually able to scratch myself for the first time in 30 years, which if you've had an itch for 30 years that you couldn't scratch, let's just say it's not fun. So it's been a hell of a relief, and I'm looking forward to getting the other hand ready too. Like you've seen it now, it's not exactly like my old hand would have been, but it does the job. And I think it looks great, and I'm really, really happy. And I'm happy to be here at Murph Manor with all my brothers, and, well, we'll get to, and Cousin Furphy, of course. Cousin Furphy, of course. And, yeah, well, we'll get to, there's another surprise coming, so, yeah, spoiler alert. Anyway, yes, I am Hans Murphy, or Hans, if you want to say it in sort of a more posh way. But, yeah, from Modesto, California to Murph Manor. Well, thank you very much, Hans, for that lovely little story about yourself. And now we have another brother. This is Les Top Gun Murphy. No, in English, Oh, sorry. Sorry, I'm used to speaking my own language with my brothers, but I do speak English. So my story is I ended up in Texas. I can't really remember how, but I always loved airplanes, and so I ended up joining the Air Force because I thought they'd teach me how to fly planes, which they did. But I don't like killing anything, so that didn't go too well. And so I was kind of in their bad books anyway. And then my other great love is motorcycles. And one day Lieutenant Treacle came in with his new Harley Davidson, and I just thought, I'm taking that for a test drive, for a bit of a joyride around Texas, and so that's what I did. And then I got a dishonorable discharge because of that. So I liberated that bike and joined a motorcycle club, and that was a lot of fun. Did that for a few years, and then I've also done a lot of charity work, mostly working with people with mental health issues, that kind of thing. And yeah, then I found my brothers online, and I thought, well, it's time to settle down, and maybe we can sort of, get the whole family together, or at least some of us together. And, yeah, I saw they were all having fun, so I'm now here at Murph Manor. Well, thank you very much, Top Gun Les Murphy, for your life story thus far. But now we have the big boy. This is our father. That's right, he is the father of all of us Murphys. He is Papa Murph. Hello. Yes, this is Papa Murph here. I am quite a bit older than the others, I guess, because I am their father. I don't know my age. We don't know anybody's age. The only year we have connected to any of us is 1987, but yes, I'd say if they're my children and they were all born that year, then I'd have to be a lot older than that. But where was I? Oh yes. So I was born in China, and then I moved to then they moved me to Japan, and they kept my wife and I. That's Mama Murph to all of you. My wife and I in this sort of facility where we were basically forced to breed, and the idea was that our children would all go on to become pets. And so we had lots and lots of children. Then they moved us back to China, where we had even more children. But we were getting a bit, for lack of a better term, shagged out, really. So we decided to try and escape. We initially got to England, which is where I picked up this lovely accent. And I spent a lot of time. We spent quite a few years there. Well, a couple of years anyway. Then we went to see the World Wrestling Federation, which is the second time this has come up in this video, rather bizarrely. Yes, coincidentally, we just happened to go to see their show at Wembley Stadium in 1992, which I believe was called SummerSlam, and we fell asleep we found a box out the back that we fell asleep in, and the next thing we knew, we were in America. So, yes, that was where we ended up with them, and so we found ourselves in New York. We ended up at a place called Penn Station, or Pennsylvania Station, which is a stupid name for it because it's not in Pennsylvania. It's in New York, as I said. It's actually near Madison. It's actually really close to Madison Square Garden. But anyway, the wife and I, Mama Murph, we were there, and it was rather busy because it is New York, and New York is usually rather busy. So we unfortunately got separated, and I've not seen her since. She went off. She sort of ended up being pulled by the crowd one way, and I ended up going the other way. And I've spent the last 32 years trying to find her, to no avail. Even now that the internet's a thing, my wife wasn't particularly up with technology or that sort of thing, so I don't think she's online, which is a shame. But if she is out there, Mama Murph, it's your big sweetie here. So yes, if you do find me on here, maybe make a note of it, and we could hopefully get together again, because I still love you and I still miss you. Yes, you're probably somewhere. I don't know. I've checked I went all around the United States of America, through Canada, as well as South America, and I've yet to find her. So yes, if you're out there, darling, please get in touch, and maybe we can bring you here to Murph Manor too. At very least, I'd like to hear from you, see what you've been doing for the last 32 years. Now, one thing I should mention is the red hat. It is a red hat. Red is my favourite colour. It has nothing to do with the Mango Mussolini. I don't like him. I am quite partial to mangoes, but not Mango Mussolini. He is an asshole. So yes, as for my political beliefs, like most gorillas, I'm sort of what you'd call somewhere between socialist / communist / anarchist, somewhere around that. We like everything to be fair, and all of that sort of thing. So all gorillas are treated as equal. This whole thing of an alpha male, that is partially true. Obviously, I would be the silverback if my fur went silver, but I've got this lovely gold plumage, so, yes, it's not really like that for us. But, I don't really know what else to say to you now. So, yes, that's pretty much been my life for the last 32 years, looking for my wife. I know she's out there somewhere, hopefully. Darling, please come home. If you see this, please come home. Okay, so yes, on a lighter note, I'm going to pass you back to Swimurf, one of my lovely sons. And yes, it's great to be here, be reunited with family, and to see all my several of my sons, and also Cousin Furphy, who is certainly a character as you've seen from these videos. So, yes, thank you for watching. And now in Murphish. It's a lovely language, Murphish, I think more people should learn it. It saves a lot of time, because I literally just said everything that I said in English, in Murphish, in that short bit. So, yes. So yes, that is all of the news here, and now I'm going to pass you over to Worker Murphy, or The Works, and he's going to tell you a little bit more about what he did with Hans's hand. Alright, it's the works here. I'm just going to tell you a bit about how I made Hans's hand and how we're working on the other one. So I've got an assistant down here who's going to bring up the... So yeah, we made a mould out of clay, out of air dry clay, and once that's set, we melt the plastic in a sandwich toaster. We use HDPE plastic. If you want to know what sort that is, it's anything that's got the recycling symbol with a number 2 in it. And I don't mean someone's taken a shit in it, I mean it literally the number 2. So yeah, you can melt that down quite safely. Then it goes into the mould. The clay's not really the ideal thing for it. We had quite a few moulds that have just sort of disintegrated once the hot plastic has hit them. But they do the job for now, and until we can get something better, maybe some sort of silicon-based thing, it'll do the job. So yeah, Hans, do you want to come back and give us a hand? It seriously means the world to me. I didn't have a hand for 30 years. It's alright. You're our kid. You're our lad. Yeah, we're going to make another one of those. Also, Papa Murph's missing a hand too, so we're working on one for him. And yeah, I'll keep you updated with my progress. So thanks for watching, and now back to Murph News. Cousin Furphy, I don't think we've got much to do in this episode. No, not really. Do you have any of your Furphy's fables at the ready that you could maybe trot out for this show? I suppose so. Did I ever tell you about the time I got really, really drunk on the set of Doctor Who? No, I can't say as you did. Oh yes, it's when they were filming the Demons episode, and there's a bit at the end where that, I think that Pirate King showed this in the previous episode when they talked about the homosexuality in the show, where Mike Yates asks the Brigadier to dance, and the Brigadier says he'd rather go for a pint. This has been taken as sort of this has sort of been taken to mean that Mike Yates is gay, and as Nicholas Courtney, who played the Brigadier, said, and that the Brigadier is an alcoholic. I don't know how true that is, but he did seem quite fond of a drink, and indeed the cast were quite fond of a drink, and we all went to the local pub, and I think I personally had about 12 pints of Guinness, which was probably a little too much. I am a little Furphy after all. I was doing all right, and I was doing okay until we went back to the studio, and then unfortunately I was rather sick inside an old Dalek. Nobody noticed at first, and when next time someone went to use that Dalek, it had sort of all congealed and was all horrible, and I think that may be why John Pertwee never really liked the Daleks, because they had that horrible Furphy vomit smell, and believe me, my vomit is rather, it is nuclear waste, basically. Yes, pretty much. It does have a bit of a half-life on it, so, yes, sorry to the Pertwee family and to the BBC, as well as to the poor Dalek operator that had to use it after that. Thankfully they weren't in there at the time. But, yes, that's probably why Daleks are a bit grumpy, really, because they're dealing with my vomit smell all the time for the past 60 years, is it now? So, yes, but I did have a lot of fun on the set of Doctor Who. I was good friends with John Pertwee and with Tom Baker, as well as some of the various other companions and unit members and all of that. A lot of fun back in the 1970s. I didn't get involved so much in the 80s. I think I was still upset about them not casting me as the Doctor. You were up, I think you said that before, that you were up for the... Yes, it was going to be me. It was either me or it was going to be either me or Peter Davison, but he fit the costume better, because, as I mentioned earlier, I am only a little Furphy. I am quite short, so yes, I was far too small, and that's why I got turned down, unfortunately. But I did have a few background appearances here and there. I don't remember that. No, none of the scenes made it in. Oh, fair enough. So yes, that's my Furphy fable for this week. And I think Pirate King will be back next week with his show. And I don't know what happens after that. But thank you for watching, and thank you. Thank you. Alright, that's about all we've got time for this week. But first we have a quick sports update. Alright, well that's the end of this Murph News special. I'll be back next week with Sailing the LGBTC, and yeah, don't forget our TeePublic store where you can buy our merchandise. Don't forget home for the LD Lee, of course, and don't forget that I am the Pirate King. Arr!